What if I told you on this flight that I take, I'm going to build an app. By the time I land, it's going to be finished. Now, it's interesting because I was able to build this app. This app is a know your client app. So, for example, before you do an investment, you have to say who you are, what you do, and then also what products match you. So let's say these are the clients, these are examples of people. And then we can go into here and say, have they been onboarded yet? Have they done identity verification? What's their financial profile, risk assessment, compliance and review? So I'm able to do this from literally being on a flight, just doing this in a very simple format. The good news about this is we're now living in a world where any idea that you have, you can just bring to life. This is what I love to do. That's why I travel a lot, actually, because it means I can get a lot of stuff done. I've got no distractions. And here's how you do it. Step one is I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll ask about specific ideas and things that would really help that person create a business, right? So what is it that they want and how can they create it? So then I'll put it into ChatGPT and then I'll ask this very, very simple prompt. Ask me the top 10 questions that I would need to ask about this app as though I'm an expert in this field, and tell me specifically what things I would need to do in order to make that happen. And I do this with a lot of things. And the great thing about this is once we have that, what we call a project scope, then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take that and then we're going to put that into what we call a vibe coding AI. What is a vibe code? So, ChatGPT, you can talk to it, right? And it talks to you in words. But vibe coding, you can talk to an AI developer, and instead of talking to you, it will code for you. This is the opportunity that we all have right now. And I think one of the biggest challenges that we're facing when it comes to business and entrepreneurship is the fact that we're bottlenecked by restrictions. We're bottlenecked by the things that we can and can't do. And this is why I always say that anytime you have an idea, you can just come in here and start creating anything you want. For example, this one here is called Higgsfield. I want to create some images myself, right? Or this is one I did. That's all done with AI. The good thing about this is I'm now able to create AI avatars of myself and clones of myself. So instead of me having to put it on camera and having to, shoot the content. So let's say I don't want to shoot content. Let's say I'm in a position where feel tired, or I've got some eye bags, right? Now I can ask my team to do it for me. So I can now write a script. I can take that script and I can put it into AI. And once I put it into AI, I'm now able to start growing and scaling without me having to be there. So now I can have other teams that actually do it for me. So it's just really incredible. All you have to do is do what we call the 1,100 strategy. What is that? The 1,100 strategy. All you need is 1,000 clients to pay you $100 a year. 1,000 times 100, that gives you 100K. Like now, if you create 10 of these apps, that means you have a subscription that will renew every single year. And if you have 10 of them, that makes you $1 million passive per year. Now, I know this sounds too good to be true. Maybe some of you may be in a position that you think to yourself, John, how is this even possible? A lot of the time, I always think about creating things, but I always think about the use case. So what use cases are there? And then what can you solve? And that's the problem. When you can solve the problem, that's how you're able to monetize. And it's all about finding people who have a specific issue. Someone asked me today, John, but how would you know to speak to AI like that? Problem with AI is kind of like making us a little bit dumber. Because why? It's kind of taking out the critical thinking. So we're now evolving from critical thinking to critical solutions. What does that mean? How is that even different? Critical thinking is figuring out what to do. But the solution is actually the end result of what you want to do, but you'll never come up with that without actually thinking about it. So when I'm thinking about creating an app, obviously the critical thinking, I give that to the AI. I use as an example. How many of you watching this right now, if you look at 10 years ago, how many telephone numbers could you remember? But if I ask you today, how many telephone numbers can you remember? So the critical thinking is done because now I can just speak to my phone and say, call this person. That's the critical thinking aspect of it, like solving a problem. But now this is critical solutions. What can I do in order to grab a solution to a product or a service? And when I'm able to do that, it changes everything because that's what people pay for. I'll give an example with content creation. People say to me, oh, John, can you just write a script for me? I can, but of course I would charge a sizable amount to do that.
Sorry, this is
I'm okay, actually. Actually, you know what? I'll take one of these.
the orange cube, the plain, and the blanched almond.
Oh, I'll take this one, actually. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry to
Cheers.
bother you.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, they've got really good service here on Emirates to give me these little date things. Pretty cool. So, and it's interesting, actually, just as a side, thing about customer service, right? Because I don't drink alcohol on at all, really. All I ask for is water, but I keep asking for water and they keep giving me these big bottles. Every time I come on these Emirates flights, they always put me a big bottle of water in it. That's good customer service. These are some of the things that if you have a business right now and you have customer service, how can you use artificial intelligence to solve that problem? Now, when we think about solving the problem, it's all about finding out where the bottlenecks are. For example, people say, John, I don't want to hire a customer service agent because it costs, 10, 20,000. And we keep paying that person. And, if I have more people, then more phone calls come in. They can't pick up all the calls. So what if I was able to clone that person's personality, that person's voice, and also how they actually handle customer service calls? Would that be pretty good? Well, how much would that be worth? It'd be worth at least the price of hiring that person, wouldn't it? Now the AI doesn't call in sick, doesn't ask for pay rise. It's scalable. You can take 1,000 calls, 20,000 calls if you scale that up, and you do it with one AI. And this is the opportunity you have right now. So that, again, could be a consumer app. You might charge, instead of $100 a year, you might charge $1,000 a year, to have that in place. So you might charge a monthly subscription, right? You might say, look, it's £500 a month for this agent to do all of your customer service. And if you have 10 of these people, that's 5,000 a month coming in just from 10 people. So these are some of the AIs you want to start thinking about and start creating as what we call a consumer app. And, what I would recommend is starting off with something lower ticket. And when you have something a lower ticket, you can then start doing a lot of the processes with finding out what people actually want and building it for them. In fact, that could even be a service. You could go in as their vibe development team. Anything they need, you build it for them. And, you tell it what you want to do. They fill in some specs of what they want the app to be. And in fact, then you can automate that process. You can have all of that go into a document. Document then goes into the vibe code and just copy and paste it in and it's done. And then at least 50% of the work is done. Then all you got to do is keep fine tuning it. That's it. This is one thing that I really love about business and entrepreneurship and being able to do a lot of the things I'm telling you right now, because in the past, it was so hard to do. And by the way, if you're wondering what this is, when I fly, I always take a lot of electrolytes because it will hydrate you. For every 8 hours of flight time, you lose about a liter of water. So staying hydrated also gives you a better sleep. So if you ever sleep on a plane and you're not able to sleep that well, hydration makes a massive impact. And I would recommend as well, try not to eat on the plane if you can help it, especially if it's nighttime. So you want to readjust. So for me, what time is it now? Almost 9 o'clock. So I would have if I go to bed in about an hour or so, I will readjust and get back to my normal time zone, which is one of the hacks that I do. Another strategy I want you to think about is if you are wanting to get qualified leads, one of the best ways to do this is to use something called a Score app. So Score app is presented by my good friend Daniel Priestley, and he talks about getting qualified leads. So if you want to get quality leads, I'll show you this one. This is quite a good strategy. So we built one of these for one of my clients who's looking for people that want to do investing, and we're now able to find those quality leads. And so when they come through, the sales team can pick them up, and now you're able to start monetizing. So again, another fast way, another great way to do it. I want to say to all of you right now, I think AI is kind of underhyped and people should be taking it more seriously, and people should be doing things that allow them to grow and scale faster, but they're just not doing it. So that's why I think it's super important to focus on learning this stuff even more. And by the way, if you guys want to learn more, we actually have a 12-week certification. If you click the link below, you can book a call with my team and they'll be able to walk you through the whole process of what that entails. But other than that, I'll link a video here, so check that out. And make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments below of any questions you've got, and I'll personally come in and answer those questions. Until then, check out this video here.